Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy show, where we're experts in nursing and experts in business. I'm Tina Baxter, your host. Strong leaders, or great leaders, don't avoid failure. They leverage it. First thing you do is acknowledge quickly. Timing matters. Don't wait days or weeks. Say it clearly. I want to address something. I missed this, and I take responsibility. Step 2, they own without making excuses. Ownership sounds like, that was my oversight. I didn't handle that well. I could have done better. Notice there's no justification, just clarity. They focus on impact. Strong leaders recognize how their actions affected others. I know that created extra stress for the team. I understand that impacted patient flow. This builds trust. They look for a path forward. Leadership is not just about admitting, it's about correcting. Here's what we're doing differently moving forward. This is how I'm fixing it. Nurses, are you burnt out, frustrated, looking for something new? Are you looking for more? Nurses, are you ready to feel the sun? You will dream big and expand your consciousness as an entrepreneur. Your nursing license is your key to freedom. Join the Nurse Shark Academy at thenursesharkacademy.biz today. Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy show, where we're experts in nursing and experts in business. I'm Tina Baxter, your host. The Nurse Shark Academy show highlights nurse business owners and others in the healthcare field who promote entrepreneurship. Today's episode is one of our leadership conversations episodes, and we're going to talk about what to do when you blow it. So this is how good leaders take ownership and bounce back. Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy show, where we talk leadership, business, and building your next level as a nurse entrepreneurship. I'm Tina Baxter. Today we're having a real conversation, one that every leader needs but doesn't often have. What to do when you make a mistake. Because let's be honest, it's going to happen. If you're in leadership, whether that's bedside management or running your own business, you are going to make a mistake. So let's talk about it. So you could say the wrong thing. You could make a bad call. You could miss something important. You could disappoint your team. So when you think about what could happen, let's be honest, it's going to happen eventually, right? So today we're going to break down how strong leaders take ownership, what not to do when you mess up, and how to bounce back in a way that actually builds trust and not break it. In the moment that you make a mistake, this is when your leadership is actually being tested more than when everything is going right. Because the truth is, your credibility isn't built by perfection. It's built on how you recover. So let's talk about normalizing failure in leadership. So let's start with a reality check. If you're in leadership, whether that's bedside management, running your own business, or you're going to make mistakes, you are. The problem is many leaders operate from this silent belief. If I mess up, I lose authority. But what actually happens is the opposite. When leaders pretend they didn't mess up, avoid accountability, or deflect blame, that's when trust erodes. So here's an example. You're a nurse manager and you're staffing the schedule incorrectly. Your team is short, overwhelmed, and frustrated. You have two choices. Blame the system or the office or miscommunication, or own it and say, hey team, I missed this. That's on me. Let's talk through how we're going to fix it. That moment defines your leadership. And so I have a actual example for myself when I just dropped the ball. And this was just recently, which made me want to talk about this leadership topic. There was an instance recently where I, had some family things go on, and I missed an important deadline for a client. And I really hate missing deadlines for anyone, let alone for a client. But I got a chance to own that. I sent an email explaining, hey, this is what happened. I apologize. I'm going to make it better. I'm going to offer you a discount on the current work, and also on any future projects. I'm offering you a discount on your next future project should you choose this again. Why? Because I feel like that was my bad. Even though there's things that were going on in my life was lifing, as we like to say, I still want to own up to it. And that made me think about this conversation, having had a conversation with some colleagues in a different setting about how there's a mistrust with leadership. And part of that is because of these very things. When mistakes happen, the team feels like they take the blame when it was the leader's responsibility for the mistake that happened. And I don't want that my team to ever feel that way as well. And so I wanted to have this very conversation because I felt this topic was so timely. So let's talk about what poor leaders do when they blow it. So let's talk about the traps. These are traps that you can fall into because most people don't intentionally lead poorly, they just react emotionally. The first trap is deflection. They shift blame. That wasn't my fault. That's not what I was told. This destroys psychological safety instantly. Second trap that you can fall into: silence. They avoid addressing it altogether. Let's pretend it didn't happen. They hope people will forget. Newsflash, your team already noticed, and silence creates resentment and confusion. You want to make sure that you acknowledge the elephant in the room. Three, over explaining. They try to justify instead of own. Well, I had a lot going on. I didn't have enough support, or I didn't get the material I needed. Explanation without ownership feels like excuses. Here's another trap, a fourth trap: overcorrecting emotionally. They spiral into guilt or shame. I'm terrible at this. I shouldn't even be leading. I'm not cut out for leadership. This shifts the burden onto your team to reassure you, and that's not leadership. So here's what strong leaders do instead. Strong leaders, or great leaders, don't avoid failure, they leverage it. First thing you do is they acknowledge quickly. Timing matters. Don't wait days or weeks. Say it clearly. I want to address something. I miss this, and I take responsibility. Step two, they own without making excuses. Ownership sounds like, that was my oversight. I didn't handle that well. I could have done better. No, notice there's no justification, just clarity. They focus on impact. Strong leaders recognize how their actions affected others. I know that created extra stress for the team. I understand that impacted patient flow. This builds trust. They look for a path forward. Leadership is not just about admitting, it's about correcting. Here's what we're doing differently moving forward. This is how I'm fixing it. Taking ownership is essential. You must do so clearly. So, owning our mistakes transforms them into opportunities for growth and trust with our teams. So, here's an example of how we're going to do this. Team, I want to circle back to yesterday's staffing issue. I missed a key detail, and that's on me. I know that created stress and put extra pressure on all of you. Moving forward, I'm putting a double check system into place to prevent this. I appreciate how you all stepped up, and I'm committed to doing better here. That's leadership. So then how do we build trust? And how do we bounce back? So here's another great example. Here's the part that most leaders don't recognize. Owning mistakes actually increases your credibility because your team is watching for authenticity, accountability, and consistency. So when you model leadership, you create a culture where people speak up, mistakes are addressed early, and growth happens faster. So here's our example. In a nurse-led business, you launch a program that didn't go well. Instead of ignoring it, you tell your team, hey, this launch didn't perform how we expected. Here's what we learned, and here's how we're pivoting. Now your team trusts your leadership and feels safe contributing ideas. Let's talk about reframing failure as leadership equity. So every time you take ownership, communicate clearly, improve the system, you're building leadership equity. Your team starts to think, I trust her. She owns her decisions. She leads with integrity. And that is far more powerful than appearing flawless. So here is our call to action. If this episode resonated with you, then take time to take your leadership to a next level. Join us inside the Nurse Shark Academy, where we don't just talk about leadership, we build it. We help nurse leaders and we help nurse entrepreneurs develop confident decision making, lead teams effectively, build businesses rooted in integrity and strategy. So if you're ready to stop second guessing yourself and start leading with clarity and confidence, join us inside the Nurse Shark Academy. Here are 5 key takeaways from this episode. Let's wrap up. Number 1, mistakes are inevitable, but avoidance is optional. Your response defines your leadership. Number 2, ownership builds trust faster than perfection ever will. People respect honesty over image. Number 3, silence and blame are the fastest ways to lose credibility. Address it early and directly. Number 4, strong leaders focus on impact and not just intent. What happens matters more than what you meant. And 5, bouncing back is a skill and it can be learned. This leadership growth in real time. So if you want to learn more about the Nurse Shark Academy, you could always hop over and join us at the nursesharkacademy.biz. Here's the contact information. It'll be available in your show notes as well. And if this episode is something that you enjoyed, please share that with your fellow nurse entrepreneurs and those that are in leadership. And we ask that you subscribe to our channel and then follow us on social media. I want to thank you for being here for one of our leadership conversations with the Nurse Shark Academy. I'm again Tina Baxter, your host, and I appreciate you being here each week that we have an episode that comes out. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day. Don't forget the nursesharkacademy.biz. Bye-bye for now. Break free and come feel the sun with the Nurse Shark Academy. Nurses, are you ready to break free from the grind and build something of your own? It's time to take your skills beyond the bedside and step into entrepreneurship. Join our webinar, Break Free, the Nurse's Path to Entrepreneurship, where you'll learn how to shift your mindset, explore your nurse-owned business ideas, and get the exact steps to launch your own business. This is your time to take control of your career and create a future you love. Seats are limited, so grab yours now. Break free and join the Nurse Shark Academy at the nursesharkacademy.biz.